committee meetings, I've been raising the whole plight of the pig farmers. You don't want to discuss them. But this be it all out to introduce 67 new amendments to the Planning and Development Bill and to change the whole title or the whole type of the bill. It's now a seriously different bill from what we thought it was first day. We had debated it here, and the Minister told me he had 5 different sets of amendments. He has 6 different sets of amendments, actually, 67 in total. And he's going to ram it through tomorrow in a little over 2 hours again. This is shockingly bad. Rush legislation is always bad, but this is terrible, and it's going to destroy the input of the local authorities and their input into legislation. So it's a takeover, it's a power grab by Minister Darragh O'Brien and by the Department of Housing that there's no democracy anymore, not in this House, not in local authorities. It's shocking, and we, the rural independents, are totally opposed to it.
Deputy Cian O'Callaghan.
First of all, I would say that in terms of the planning bill and the amendments that the Minister is bringing in, I mean, we just heard earlier at leaders' questions demands to increase housing supply, to reduce the pressure on renters and so on. I mean, that is the full purpose of the amendments, essentially in relation to short-term lettings in particular, which I would have thought many people have been calling for in this House. And many people were looking for this, and the Minister is endeavouring to provide for that now. And in my view, there are positive amendments that will deal with, will provide greater supply. And we just had people complaining about the absence of supply and the need for more supply. Yes, I have indeed. In terms of the short-term lettings. In addition to that, I would make the point that the government has made it clear that there will be a cost of living package, a very substantial one, in tandem with the budget. A lot of work has to go into that, and a lot of work has to go into the budget in terms of getting that right. We've already this last week introduced measures in terms of increasing the back-to-school allowance by over €100. That will take effect in the next week or so. And in addition to that, providing extensive meals to children in DEIS schools, particularly the new schools. Remember, we had the largest increase in DEIS schools ever this year, which was, I think, an outstanding measure taken by the Minister for Education. But now the school meal programme will be applied as a cost of living measure also, but it's the right thing to do for those attending those DEIS schools. And school transport fees have been waived for the coming September period, again to reduce costs that families would face as they go back to school. I think these are reasonable measures. We need a more comprehensive package at the end of September in terms of cost of living. There's no doubt about that. We have to do it in a way that's not inflationary as best we can. We also have to alleviate the pressures on households. There was briefings, I understand, of the committee by department officials yesterday in relation to these amendments. And I think we do need to continue to streamline our system to make sure we can increase supply of all forms of housing units. And that is certainly there's no grab for power.